The NFL draft is making headlines and not for the right reasons. You're listening to The Real Story. After the draft, what should we be focused on? Well, we should be getting excited about who our teams picked and how they're likely to perform on the field. But no, we've been hijacked. We've been hijacked by prank calls made to NFL prospects during the draft. Now, who's making these prank calls? Well, we're going to talk about that. Here are some of the headlines. NBC analyst Chris Sims slams NFL for letting Shadur Sanders prank happen. Raiders' first-round pick was victim of prank call too. Abdul Carter also received prank call before being taken in NFL draft. Now, look, we're living in a world where social media clout matters more than compassion. And I said, who's making these calls? And who are they making them to? Well, how do you get into the NFL draft? Well, you get into the NFL draft because you are an elite athlete. You get into the NFL draft because you understand hard work. You understand discipline. You understand sacrifice. You have worked your butt off. Now, people can talk about these being prima donnas, and they can talk about them being all kinds of bad role models sometimes, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. But let me tell you something. I grew up in athletics all my life, and I was never an elite athlete. I was never considered for the NFL draft, but I was around a whole lot of my friends who were, and I can tell you their work ethic was amazing. And I'll promise you, these punks who are making these prank calls don't have discipline. They don't have the work ethic. They're not the ones that had the discipline to make the sacrifices necessary. So what they're doing is sitting off to the side and trying to spoil that one moment in life where you get a phone call from the NFL that says you're in.
Andrew, congratulations, man. We're patient the whole round, waiting for you, and we got you.
No, y'all got the best one for sure.
And what kind of person takes that moment away from somebody that has worked their entire life for that one pinnacle moment and spoils it for them?
I swear to you. I will not regret this. I swear. Hey, Coach, I'm real ready. I'm telling you right now, I'm ready. And I'm going to do big things for you.
What kind of psychopath, what kind of punk, what kind of person steals that moment from somebody else? At least 7 NFL draft picks got those kind of prank phone calls before or during the 25 NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Sanders, was probably the highest profile, and we know who did it. The prankster, Jax Ulbrich, 21-year-old son of Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Now, look, I don't put this on Jeff. I guarantee you he is mortified. Now, Jax found Sanders' number on his father's unlocked work iPad, and then he and his friends pranked Sanders. Now, I don't even like using the word pranked Sanders because that makes it some kind of joke. It trivializes what happened. That's bullying. That's abuse. It was caught on video, a YouTube channel run by Shedur's older brother, Deion Jr., and he's seen holding the phone, listening as Ulbrich's friend identifies himself as Saints GM Mickey Loomis.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
And they say, we're going to take you with our next pick right here, man. Shadur replies, yes, sir, let's be legendary. And then this punk says, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
The caller abruptly hanging up.
What does that mean?
Who does that? Well, I'll tell you who does that. Somebody that has no empathy, somebody that is a bully, somebody that's entitled, somebody that thinks, oh, this is great. Look at me. Everybody look over here at me. I haven't achieved anything. I haven't done anything. I haven't earned anything, but look at me. And he posted it with the quote, fun. Really? You think that's funny? Well, Jack's father and Falcons defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulrich, was fined $100,000. How funny is that, kid? That's just the monetary cost. Let's talk about the emotional cost. Here's how the draft day and that moment should look.
Thank you for believing. How you doing, Coach?
That was Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison getting the call, a real call when drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's something that kids imagine, they think about, they envision, they role play and dream about in their head. Imagine that feeling and then having it snatched away from you by somebody that wants attention, wants to steal the moment. Look, this is a vicious mind game. In Shedur's case, it was on a national stage, on the biggest day of their life. This isn't some harmless prank. This isn't some gag. You can't apologize that away. On Sunday after the draft, this Jax posted on Instagram. Here's an excerpt. On Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shadur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. You stole a moment that you didn't earn to get everybody to look at you. It's reported that he also apologized to Shadur personally, too. But you know what? That doesn't do it. Public humiliation can't be erased. Making somebody a punchline can't be erased. There's a metaphor in the gospel about gossip and humiliation. A man said something humiliating about his neighbor, and the word spread around the village as one person told another. When the culprit realized the harm he had done, he went to see the village priest to see how he could make amends. And the priest said, and this is a quote from the story, "Take a bag full of feathers and place one feather on the doorstep of each person who heard the story you told. Then go back a day later and pick up the feather and bring the bag back to me." So what's the lesson? Our words and actions are powerful. And some, you just can't unring that bell. It can't be undone, even a heartfelt apology. So you got religion. It will never change how that made Shadur feel that moment. It will never take that away. He doesn't get a second chance at that one moment. Some practical jokes are harmless. Others have serious emotional and, I suspect, legal consequences. According to one research publication, social media pranks often trigger immediate emotional reactions like fear, anger, and embarrassment. Can have long-term mental effects. But here's the bigger picture. When you humiliate someone on the biggest day of their life, what does that make you? So you got millions of views? What does that say about us? Prank videos generate 3 billion views every month across platforms. 3 billion views. That means we're looking at this crap. 49% of 18 to 29-year-olds say prank content is their favorite kind of social media. YouTube, kicking strangers' chairs in the movies, over 100 million views. TikTok trend, fake breakups in public with hidden cameras to humiliate partners. Really? We're feeding on that? That's what we want to look at? That's what we want to see? Seriously? teen prankster in California made fake calls to 911 so a SWAT team was sent to an innocent family's home. Oh, that's hilarious. The conclusion, likes and laughs, seem to outshine empathy. What are we doing as parents, educators, coaches, adults, fellow human beings to stop this kind of thing? Are we setting limits, or are we just going in after the fact and cleaning up messes? We need to check our own hearts. Because you know when this will stop? It'll stop when we stop looking at it. It's supply and demand. They'll continue to supply it as long as we keep demanding it, as long as we keep clicking on it. You start getting in that comment section and saying, I'm going to unfollow you, I don't like this, and I don't like you for doing it. You let those guys all of a sudden drop 50%, 75% of their followers, they're going to find something else to do. And that's the real story. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow. Your body is a system, and when it's running right, you feel focused, energized, in flow, but sometimes we struggle to find that flow state. Why? Because there's too much static in our system, brain fog, fatigue, and inflammation. The Echo Flask clears the static by infusing your water with molecular hydrogen, a natural science-backed gas that helps your body think sharper, recover faster, and run smoother. This is more than hydration. It's better focus, more energy, faster recovery, less internal stress, and longer-term benefits that keep you sharp. When your water works harder, your whole system does too. Find your flow state with the Echo Flask hydrogen water bottle and get an unlimited supply of hydrogen water at home and on the go. Visit echowater.com/Phil and use code Phil for 10% off. That's echowater.com/Phil. Enter code Phil to save 10%.